Hello, I'm Jeannie Yang. I am a partner at MJMA, Architecture and Design, and I was the principal in charge of the design for the Western North York Community Recreation Centre for the City of Toronto.
My name is Jean Lamirand. I am a project director with Pomelo. I've been with the company for about 16 years. I am looking after a few projects, including this one, the Western North York Community Centre.
So my name is Simon Bunieski. I run the Toronto team for Menard. We are based out in Mississauga, and we deal with the design side and then the execution of the ground improvement project.
Western North York Community Centre was a project that was commissioned in 2017. It is a building that's long coming for this community. The site was bought by the city in 2009, I believe, and we are finally at the place where the building is in construction.
So the project is a facility for Toronto Parks and Recreation, but also for child services. That will house a number of recreation facilities, including a pool, basketball courts, interior, outdoor, different studios for the community, for like recording, media and such.
The Toronto Green Standards is a world-class building and construction standard that instructs designers, architects, and engineers about how to design sustainable buildings for resilient communities.
So being a City of Toronto-owned facility, it's subject to the most stringent tiers of Toronto Green Standard. Toronto Green Standard includes requirements for both design, construction, which relate to air quality, embodied carbon, water quality, to waste, and there's more.
You think of a budget in terms of dollars, but here we had a kind of a budget in terms of ton of CO2 equivalent that we could spend, or a kind of a maximum that we had to comply with for our specific scope of work. So that was very unique for us to see that in application on a project where we're actually bidding.
So we looked at our structural engineer, Blackwell, and we worked together to contact concrete industry and the steel industry, because those we knew would have the largest footprint in terms of the materials for our project. Interestingly enough, we also started talking about how to make those systems more efficient, and that's where Menard came in. They approached us and were able to show how their system would be able to reduce the amount of concrete in the project, as well as really make an efficient soil improvement system to support the building.
So basically, as we're drilling down through these compressible layer, we are pushing the ground on the side, so just consolidating it a bit. And then when we reach our competent layer, then we start pumping and creating a column of concrete, basically, up to the surface. There are a lot of them that are present below the slab of the building and also below the footings, so that instead of designing a solution that supports the building, taking 100% of the load inside deep caissons or deep foundations, the load of the building will basically spread between the soil and then the elements themselves, so that we are able to design a solution that is smaller in diameter and doesn't have to go as deep as deep foundation solution.
The number one thing to do here it's collaboration. Our role is to really take the time to understand all of the work that's been put in before we're on the project in terms of the modeling and the objectives, and then to work together on implementing what's incorporated in this model. It's not just a question of like meeting requirements, it's really of working together to make sure that we're achieving these goals, and in a lot of cases finding ways to exceed them, because the models they're theoretical, they're what you can do on paper. So our involvement is working with the consultants to put that in practice, to actually work with them to reach out to all the suppliers and figure out all the different products that we need to have on this project to meet those goals, and sometimes even to do better if we can in the process.
It wasn't easy, to be frank. For most materials, the construction industry just isn't there. For the bigger industries, we were able to work very closely with them.
One of the key aspects to be able to comply with the TGS was to make sure that we had a collaborative approach with the team, because most of the work that we are doing here is tightly linked to the structure of the building itself. So we had to work very closely with the design team even to look at the interaction between the structure and the soil itself and find the best and the most optimized solution. How we can do better as an industry is really about collaborating together. We are all learning on these new topics, and had this project happened 5 years ago, maybe it would have been a deep foundation solution, so not a ground improvement solution, right? But again, keeping in mind that the collaboration between the project team is key. We cannot be as siloed as maybe we are right now on some projects, because the optimization is really in the interaction between the different stakeholders of the project. On the supplier side, I think the industry is ready, like the technology is there. It's just about making sure that if there is enough demand for these products, like low carbon concrete or renewable diesel, then the supply will follow.
We're taking the lessons learned from one project, we're applying it to the next, and then we try to do even better on the next one. Every project is an opportunity to just learn and to repeat and do better.
On opening day, what I think will make us feel satisfied is the fact that we've thought about the process and we've collaborated with more people than we ever have from day one all the way to opening day.